Okay, it's another cold morning, 21 degrees, not too bad, and I'm on my way out of the house here and on my way to the farm. So, got a lot of flack over saying that a Fendt Vario transmission needs to be exchanged between 5,000 and 7,000 hours. Now, I'm not saying that every Fendt transmission needs to be changed between 5,000 and 7,000 hours, but when I was looking at a John Deere, let's see, in 2016, 2015, 2016, I was looking at the John Deere 8530s, 8430s, 8330s. I wanted an IVT transmission. Okay, so not really a big deal. John Deere's variable rate transmissions have been pretty good, along with Fendt's and New Holland's or New Holland Agri, CNI Industrial, whatever, CNI, Case New Holland. They are CNHI, that's what it is. They have very good CVT transmissions, along with John Deere, Fendt, and but anyways, Fendt Vario has a video, and it's still on their website. I will put a link in the description below here so you can watch that. But that video has been taken down and remade. All right, the video content is the same. It's just they changed a few words and took out some stuff in it, in the English version anyway. But that video is still in existence. It does exist. And basically what it says is, hey, Fendt Vario transmissions, you know, they start to get sloppy and they should be replaced between 5,000 and 7,000 hours. Not saying that they won't go to 10, 12, 18, 20,000 hours, just saying that between 5,000 and 7,000 hours you will start to have decreased efficiencies and all that other stuff. Okay, that's what I went on when I was looking at Fendt tractors. I bleed green. I do not particularly care for AGCO products. That's just my personal opinion. When you buy a Challenger, you get a Fendt. When you buy a Massey Ferguson, you get a Fendt. When you buy a New Holland, you get a Case. That's just the way they are. John Deere is John Deere. John Deere does use ZF transmissions in its 7,000, 6 and 7,000 series, from what I understand. The Hydro that is in my 8530, which is being replaced again, free of charge, and I may be even getting reimbursed from John Deere over their problem that they've had, which is nice. You know, that tractor is 11 years old, so it's, you know, whatever. They're fixing it. I'm happy. What happened with that is the spool valve. There is a spool valve, and that spool valve is bad in those serial number Hydros, so that's getting replaced. So if you want to talk about Fendt Varios being perfect, I guarantee you that not all Fendt Vario transmissions last like they should, and I guarantee you that all John Deere transmissions don't last like they should, and I guarantee you that all other manufacturer transmissions don't last like they should. It is done, there are problems with, what would you call them? The operators and the maintenance on them all have contributing factors as to why they fail when they fail, and that's just the long and the short of it. I'm sure there are 100 people that will say, oh, well, our John Deere 8530 never had an issue. And that is true. There are plenty of John Deere tractors out there that have 15, 18, 17, 20, 1,000 hours on their variable rate or ITV transmissions with that ran flawless. Mine just so happened to have O-rings sticking out of the Hydro, which really isn't a terrible system. I actually like the John Deere system over there goes that cop I was talking about. I like the John Deere system over the other systems because it actually puts gears, it's a hydrostatic transmission that runs a transmission. Pretty efficient way of doing it. The strictly hydraulic, you may as well say it's a hydrostat. That Fendt Vario is pretty much a hydrostat. There's moving parts in there, and those moving parts are, they scare me, I guess. A swinging hydraulic motor. Well, when you swing a hydraulic motor, you either have to have a flexible hose or O-rings, or some other form of sealing ring to hold those, you know, for the hoses to actually pivot as the motor pivots. And, you know, so that also creates a problem if you put the wrong kind of oil in there. So anyway, whatever. I guess I'm just talking about stuff that I don't know anything about according to most people. Yes, I have driven a Fendt. Did I own a Fendt? No. Do I like the way the Fendt is? I don't like the layout of the controls on a Fendt. I really do not. It's like when I get in a John Deere tractor, you know, going from the older style to the newer style, everything is fingertips. At first I didn't like it, but it became comfortable. And now that they've got these joysticks in them, I don't like the joystick. I mean, it puts me in mind of the Fendt, to be honest with you. And I have a great dislike for that joystick, that paddle thing. It's like, Jesus, I just dislike this thing terribly. So, whatever, is what it is, I guess. I don't believe that I will be buying a Fendt tractor just for those reasons. And again, the joystick on the new 6000 series tractors, I guess they can be plumbed into the loader, or, you know, the loader is what you can operate that through the loader, or the loader through that joystick, which is fine, I guess, but I don't want to run my tractor through a joystick. So anyways, I guess that's just me yakking. I'm going to get gasoline before I go back to the farm and get more loads of hay. Alright, so this video is pretty much strictly for Westendorf. It gets stuck. Can't push it. There it goes, really hard. You hear it fighting itself. Can't do anything. It's really stiff. And this is this valve. Look, I've completely let go. Now, if I shut the tractor off, right, then I'm able to, it's still stiff as hell. Throw it up into neutral, let it fall all the way down. Now it's back smooth again. I have to wiggle it a little bit. Now it's even smoother. There's the detent. That's it. Okay. Fire back up again. Now this is the thing that annoys me the most, and I'm just being practical here. There's your self-level. It ain't leveling too good. Oh, back to jamming up again. But right there, it doesn't come back. It only levels on the way up. It doesn't level on the way back. So if I have that thing perfectly level, it does level to a point. The valve does, but not perfectly. And I have to throw it into neutral because I can't find my sweet spot here. Now it'll take me, it's actually starting to work again. So there is some kind of a pressure bleed over or something from those valves. I don't know what it is. I can't figure it out. I'm getting tired of it. I know you guys said that you're gonna come up with a different valve company, which is fine by me. But at least now when I let go, it'll settle back down to where it belongs. So now it's working again. Now, it'll work perfectly. It'll work perfectly now. And then I'll drive all the way home, which is about 5 miles away. 5 to 8 miles away. Maybe it's 8 miles away. And by the time I get there, the Power Beyond, I guess, does something in that valve, and then I have to fight with it all over again. Now if I load one load and then load another load, and then, you know, if I'm constantly working it, then it's fine. You know, it works just fine. But yeah, this is not working fine. It's just not working fine. When I have to drive a long distance, it's a pain in the ass. So we're gonna have to do something. This is like the worst. It's terrible. My father gets in this thing and his shoulder hurts. He says, you know what? I don't even want to get in that tractor anymore. I have to spend $150,000 on a good used loader tractor because I can't get this loader to work. Enough for him. Now if it worked like this, I don't think he would have much of a problem. You know? but it doesn't always work like this. Okay, so it's the end of the day, and I just gotta say, nothing interesting really happened today. Unless you want to watch me move bales of hay along and from one farm to the other. That's about the gist of it. So, haven't did anything in the shop. I'm trying to get as much material home before we get a lot of snow, because it's easier to do that, to bring it home, and then when we do finally get snow, it's home and we don't have to go running for it. I've got several thousand bales out and about that need to be brought home. What else did I do today? Just nothing. Just ran that tractor pretty much all day. The boys put on lights on the tool truck. I tried to get them to, yeah, they put lights on the tool truck, exterior lights. I'm gonna get a couple more of those, and you know, just add more light to it, because when you're out there in the dark at 1, 2 in the morning, it's just a good thing to have lights. And you just pull the tool truck up, flip on the light switch, and bam, you got light to work on whatever it is you're working on. So that's a good thing. So I got to get at least 2 more of those, and that'll make me happy. The problem is that they're spotlight. They're not really a flood, but I've got a guy coming at me at high speed here. So anyway, yeah, I guess the only other thing that I did today was really discover that Citgo gasoline is absolute junk. This truck has been running like crap, and it's been throwing codes, it's been knocking and pinging and carrying on, and I'm pretty much at wit's end. We just bought Teresa's car, so I'm not in the market for a new truck, but this truck's got 180,000 miles on it, and I'm like, man, this thing's making all kinds of noise. So I changed some sensors around, and the reader tells me that the cam position and the crank position sensors are misaligned, which could be causing some of these problems. But this thing's been making all holy hell noise, you know, driveline noise, mis-shifting, and it just needs to be rectified. So I went to a different gas station because I kind of had this feeling that that's really what the main problem is gasoline. And wouldn't you know it, it doesn't misfire. I should change all the spark plugs again, but it doesn't misfire. It doesn't have that vibrating nasty noise. It just seems to be working better. So yeah, that's what I'm gathering. That's what I'm gathering the problem is really just where I've been getting my gasoline. I can deal with it like this. I mean, gas mileage went from 16 miles to the gallon on this 5.4 liter to 12, you know, to 12, which is ridiculous. And I usually just put regular gasoline in this because that's what it calls for. It's always ran on regular gasoline, but yeah, that's it. So today there was a power outage here. And when I say a power outage, we didn't have any power at the farm, and that's kind of unheard of. We always have power. So when I got back from the first load of hay that I got this morning, the generator was running, and my father had, you know, had Timothy fire up the generator and run it because my grandmother's in the house, and she's, you know, today's her birthday. She's 95. January 20th is her birthday. She's 95 years old. She's fading, still sharp, but she's fading. You know, I mean, her mind is there, her body's failing. I would really hate to be a prisoner in my own body. So when I get to that age, it's just like, okay, Lord, take me now. Even though I'm not a very religious person, it's just like, just take me now, baby. But anyways, that's what you're going to get today. Just a little bit of a talking about Fendt tractors and John Deere tractors, and the boring job of bringing loads of hay home, and plus the I guess I'm showing that joystick issue that I had, and that was on that just annoys the piss out of me. But it's pretty cold right now. It's 26 degrees above zero. It's pretty cold compared, because it was like 65 last week, 70 almost. but right now it's 20. It says 26, but I think we're colder than that because it's pretty cold. It feels colder than what the truck is saying. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm just gonna go in, grab up my boy, and eat my supper because I'm hungry, and he needs to have cold hands on his little warm back. Used to do that to my other kids, and I think it caused trauma. I don't know. My crazy little monkey.